Welcome back to the DBS studios. I'm here with Mario Reyes, and we're actually talking all cars. Now, if you have any questions that you'd like to post to Mario, you can send them by email, Facebook, WhatsApp, or BBM. You know how to contact us. Now, we were talking earlier, and I forgot to mention when I was asking Mario more about himself, about cars. He said that you had this fascination from a young age. What was your first car that you actually purchased?
Oh, the first car that I purchased was a Nissan Stanza from Peter & Company, and I paid $34,000 for it. It was, I bought that car and I was 19 years old.
Wow, a Stanza at 19.
Yeah.
Was that your dream car at the time?
Well,
or was it?
No, it wasn't a
or was it
dream
what you,
car.
at the time, or what you could afford?
Could have got at the time.
That's what I'm
yes.
asking. Yeah, okay. And now, what is your dream car?
I have it actually.
I remember some time ago when we first met, and I said to you, I want to ride in that car.
Yeah.
Because everyone who knows me, they know I love cars. I love power. You know, and there's just something about that, you know, the engine that you just cannot.
No, that car is actually my dream car. An M5 is the ultimate driving machine. Seriously.
It is.
It's a four-door car that you can use every day, and you don't have to give up the sports aspect of it for its utility. And at the same time, if you want to drive it like a sports car, you do. I mean, I went down to Vieux today to go and pick up another car from a friend. And I went down with my car, and another guy went down with me. And we enjoyed the drive. We went down to Vieux and back up in an hour 45. So,
wow.
And that wasn't driving fast.
But what would you say to people who say, because people said it to me as well, don't come to St. Lucia and buy a sports car or a convertible, it's too low for the roads?
Well, that's not exactly correct, because low for the roads, from what perspective? Any car, all cars, normal cars, are pretty much around the same height off the road anyway. So having a convertible is irrelevant, whether it's, you know, is an off-road car or not. So having a convertible, you're not losing anything, you're not doing anything. If you like sun, the only problem with a convertible in Castries is that when you want to drive a convertible, you want the wind to be blowing through. So if you're in traffic on 100-degree heat, then it doesn't make any sense. But if you drive into Vieux Fort, it's absolutely a wonderful thing.
I can imagine. You know, as you were saying that, and I know this might be a kind of silly thing, but it's just come. You know, there's a concept called, I think it's Red Letter Days, where I think in the UK and in the States they have, if you want to have like a perfect gift for, especially for men, where you can actually, your family can buy you a gift of driving a vehicle for a day.
Yes. Well, that's a big thing in Europe now. You actually can go on a vacation. Ferrari has it, Porsche has it, BMW has it. You can buy a 2-week vacation and drive a Ferrari in Europe, or a Porsche, or a BMW for 2 weeks on your vacation. But one of the things that we actually can provide is called tourist deliveries for BMWs and Porsches. We can arrange, you do a factory pickup of your car in Europe when you go on holidays, drive it around Europe for as long as you want. Once you do that within a year. So you drive it around. When you're finished, we tell you a delivery point, either in Le Havre or in London, and your car is then shipped to St. Lucia. So instead of renting a car when you go to Europe on holidays, you can buy your car, enjoy it in Europe, and bring it back.
Well, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people did not know that.
Yeah, you can do that. In any BMW that we sell, or any Porsche we sell, we can arrange a European delivery. And you can pick up your car in Europe, drive it around on a vacation, come back home with it.
That's amazing. That's something that I know a lot of people haven't heard. But we have some pictures that we want to actually show people about cars and things like that. Now, it's difficult for me to recognize the interior of that one.
That is the new Subaru XV.
Okay.
It is the coolest car to come out in recent times from Subaru. It is a SUV crossover, the highest ground clearance in that category of soft-roader. It's 4-wheel drive, comes with Bluetooth, reversing camera, paddle shifts on the steering wheel. It's a 6-speed CVT transmission.
Wow.
17-inch rims, sunroof, everything. Fantastic little car. If you're not into the big SUV and you want something a little bit smaller, that is an ideal
I'd like to see
car.
the actual, instead of seeing the interior, let's see if we can get some pictures that actually show the actual car so you can see what's happening there. So we're just waiting for, no, that's not what we want to talk about. So if we can move along, please, move along. And we can talk about the things that, move along, please, move along, please. Okay.
That is the new Swift Desire. That car actually, that is not a good likeness of the car.
Okay.
But anyway, that model arrives in St. Lucia, I think, this weekend.
Okay. But that looks like an artist's impression as opposed to the real thing.
It is.
Yes,
It's a brand new model, and it arrives in St. Lucia this weekend. It is a sedan version of this ever-popular Swift.
Okay. Yes, you can see that. Okay,
Yeah.
let's move along, please.
That's a picture of the actual car, actually. So you see it's more realistic
Yes,
now.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yes. Right. Okay.
That is the Grand Vitara, which is...
What? That's a kind of...
No, I have to tell you about the Grand Vitara. A lot of people say, you know, oh, the Grand Vitara is a bit dated. It's actually not. You don't fix what's not broken.
Yeah,
This
I
is
agree
the
with that.
only SUV in its category that has a dual range transfer case for four-wheel drives. This car is a permanent four-wheel drive, high four-wheel drive, and you can also put it in the low range for effectively mountain climbing. No other brand in its category makes a dual transfer case for resale in St. Lucia.
Yeah, and it is an extremely popular
Yeah.
vehicle wherever you go in the world. It just seems to
Yes.
be just holding everything there. Okay, now this beautiful vehicle.
That is the Swift Desire again.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a really beautiful car.
Yeah. So that arrives. This is the new SX4 that is coming out at the end of this year. This is going to revolutionize the crossover
I
market.
love, look at that. That's so sleek.
Yeah.
That's so sleek. And I noticed that they're coming with some really nice colours as well.
Oh, yes.
Some
yes.
really lovely
Not the
colours.
boring colours
Yeah,
anymore. They come with
yeah.
some
Especially for the
funky colours.
Caribbean, we need those
Yes.
kind of colours.
That's
Okay.
the current SX4.
Right. Okay, so that's a big difference,
Yes.
isn't it?
And that is the Jimny. That's a very popular model with the car rental companies. Again, it has a low transfer case, so you can go anywhere with it. It's a short wheelbase, so nothing can stop you. And for the price it is. If you want an SUV that you're only going to use on a weekend, you can buy that and have that as a second car.
How much are we looking at? Because I know it'd be...
in the 70s.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the 70s.
Okay. And what have we...
Oh, and that
Yeah,
is
of
the
course,
Swift
that's the Swift.
Sport. That is a very popular Swift Sport. I mean, if you want to have a little sports car, with a little paddle shift, 7-speed gearbox and works, that's what it is.
Cool.
Yes.
That's cool. Oh, look at this. Oh.
Yeah, that's another version of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I know that in St. Lucia we love our vehicles, you know,
Oh,
we just
clearly,
love them,
Clearly.
you know. And I think that a lot of people, when they actually start going to work, instead of them thinking about homes, some
Yes,
people,
yes.
they think about, I really want this
My
car,
car,
you know.
yes.
The car is the most important thing, especially the men, I would say, more than the ladies, you know.
You know
But
what? When you say that about the men, a point I'd like to make about people buying cars. People are so gung-ho on souping up, especially young guys, on souping up their cars. They go put turbochargers, superchargers, whatever, nitrous on their cars to make them go faster. They never ever consider that you have to beef up the suspension and you have to beef up the brakes. And that's why a lot of people get killed on the roads, because they only look at one aspect of modifying a car and not the entire thing. When we talk about my car, for example, the M5, every aspect of that car is a supercar. The brake discs on my car are 16 inches. They are huge. And my car can decelerate from normal driving almost as fast as it can accelerate to get there.
that's
So you
amazing.
need to have every aspect of your car modified and not just the acceleration aspect. And I think the young drivers out there need to understand, when you're going to invest in modifying a car, you need to invest all around, not just part of it.
I mean, we touched on this a little earlier, but we weren't really specific in terms of talking. But when we look at maintenance and we look at service, what is the difference?
Oh, huge difference. Huge difference. People in St. Lucia have typically thought a service, when somebody says, I'm going to give you a service, it's change your oil and your oil filter. That has gone way past now in terms of the maintenance of a car. Let's just for a moment just focus on like BMW.
Mm-hmm.
The service intervals on a BMW are determined by the car itself. It's determined by the fuel consumption, by the oil quality. All of that is determined through the computers, that actually every time you start the car, it tells you the mileage to the next service or the next maintenance interval. When that interval, within 1,000 miles or 1,000 kilometers of that maintenance interval, all the warning lights in the car go from being green to orange. And when the actual date arrives or the mileage has gone to 0, the lights start turning to red to indicate to you that you need to bring in your car. Well, BMW, in conjunction with ourselves, launched Service Inclusive and Repair in early 2010. And what that means is that when you purchase a BMW product, or BMW Group product, which means Mini and Rolls-Royce, we haven't sold any Rolls-Royces. When your services are due, you bring your car into us, the services are done, including the labor, including the parts, and anything else that must be done. It's part of the price of the car for 3 years or 60,000 kilometers. Brake pads, brake discs, filters, you bust a shock, everything is covered for 3 years or 60,000 kilometers. This program is also extendable at a cost. The cost is not extraordinary, but the service aspect of it can be extended to a maximum of 10 years.
Okay.
The warranty aspect of it can be extended to a maximum of 6 years. So it's all determined on the model, specific model, the difference in the price for it. But every single BMW sold is coming standard with 3 years or 60,000 kilometers.
Okay.
And after that, you pay for whatever it is to extend it to 5 or 6 years, and the service can go as far as 10 years. So what that means is that the cost of ownership of a premium brand like a BMW to you will be negligible. And that is what I think is very important when you consider buying a premium product.
Okay.
You need to get the premium after sales also. And that to me is paramount.
So, okay, we started on with the service and we kind of mingled into the maintenance. How would someone maintain their vehicle? Is that a matter of not just coming in when the car tells you to come in for service? How could you, advise people?
There are two aspects of it. When it comes to our BMW products, we can your cars actually can talk to us. So we can actually tell your car, hey, you're due for service, tell your owner. And we manually will also communicate with the owners, advising them your car is scheduled for service or your car has indicated that it needs service. We actually, when you come into the dealership, we don't need to actually go to your car to even know if it's due for service. Your key, you just put it into something called a key reader, and all the details come up, including your fuel in your tank, your tire pressures, everything. So we have all your details on your car. So unfortunately, it's still illegal to actually go and hijack somebody's car and bring it in for service. I can't do that yet.
I'm feeling you would if you could.
Exactly.
Okay, well, we're going to go for a break, but when we do, I actually do want to find out from you why you would start from the ultimate and then you're doing Suzuki's, which is, I think, another fantastic range. There's so much to do with Suzuki's that a lot of people perhaps don't know about. So I want to talk a little bit about Suzuki's when we return. Just to remind you about the giveaways tonight. How many models does Suzuki sell in the St. Lucia market, and name them? And I have to say to you, not many people are getting it right, so please buck up, all right? Now, also, how many channels do you get when you sign up for Carib Cable's basic package? This is Dolor Factor Live on DBS. When we come back, we'll actually be looking at some of your emails. Speak to you and see you soon.